So we didn't even realize it. Well,
Well,
I gotta teach you, Mom, how to look and see, because you can see if there's no sound on there. I gotta show you like
hi,
how you can
Courtney.
see that, so that you can
Hi, Uncle Denny.
fix that. What's up, guys?
Now that you guys can finally hear us,
Yeah,
we were talking about
we were talking
Superman.
about so much
We were
stuff.
talking about a whole lot of stuff.
We talked
Good,
about
some good stuff.
yeah. We were talking about the Superman movie, how it wasn't as much of a disappointment as people tried to make it out to be.
Yeah.
We just got done talking about how NASA found a super Earth.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's sending signals.
sending signals.
What kind of signals?
It says repeated signals.
We exist signals.
I don't know. It just says repeated signals. I would like to know how far 154 light years is from the Earth. Let's ask.
I would like to know
How
if Pop,
many miles?
Uncle Denny, find
is
out if your
154?
your bro have an inside at NASA about this
Super Earth.
super Earth.
So 154 light years is approximately. You ready for this? You ready for this?
I don't know if I am.
You're not, because you can't even fathom. This is a number that you couldn't even like quantify. 905 trillion miles. 905 trillion miles. They are able to scope out
Okay.
what this planet is, and that it's Earth, that it is just like Earth but giant.
Even if we wanted to visit them, we'd be dead by the time we
We could never.
unless we
Unless we figure out
we freeze ourselves
Yeah.
like they do in the sci-fi movies.
that never goes right. Doesn't it always go wrong?
There's always something that goes wrong.
Yeah. Or if we figure out hyper speed or whatever, like they used to do on Star Wars.
Star Wars, yep.
Yeah.
And Star Trek? Is there Star Trek?
Star Trek too. Yeah.
Hyperspeed.
Hyperdrive. Did they have a different name for it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Beam me up.
Beam me. That's different.
Beam me up.
Yeah. Particle acceleration or something like that. Yeah, unless they can figure that out.
I'm not a Trekkie. I don't know.
But yeah, so there's a whole nother planet that is. They just want to let us know that they found this super Earth and it's sending signals out, I guess.
How do you feel about that, Mom?
I don't even know if it's true.
I just feel like, okay, I guess that's what all of the money we give to NASA gets us.
Because it is our money.
Yeah, like all of the money we spend to fund NASA. What do they actually do?
They're not going back to the moon.
They definitely aren't doing that. They're not trying to get to Mars. Elon's trying to do that.
We're going to get Pop mad.
Does he really get like sensitive over that topic? I was talking about that with
he's passionate because,
yeah.
he's worked for NASA and he really believes that they went to the moon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, just like people that believe that they really were starting a revolution in Cuba, you know what I mean? They don't want to let it go.
Right.
But I was talking to somebody last night in here who is in the tech world, like very smart engineer guy, and he was like, "There's no way." He was like, "There's no." It's common sense. Like, there's no way. He's like, "I know a lot of really smart people that work in those fields. There's no way, But
Pop is really smart. He
is really smart.
We kind of on 4th of July because I went there after Puerto Rico, and we kind of got into it because he said that listening to us kind of made him second guess.
Second guess what?
Going to the moon. If we went to the moon.
And we never even like really went in on the conversation. So he should let us like really, if I really could sit down with Pop and show him all the stuff I've seen, like all the evidence, Bart Sebrel's documentaries, like all his information.
he might come here because we're going to Fort Lauderdale to see April.
Okay.
And he's gonna fly up here and then we're gonna fly down there.
Okay.
He might come for Maybe we can just do it on an off day or something like that.
I would love to have him on the podcast.
Just have him sit and just talk.
Yeah, talk about his stuff. I would love to have him on.
And just, because you're more knowledgeable than I am with, that stuff. But I just, we were driving clunkers. And you want me to believe that they went up to the moon and Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin just like, okay, now it's time to go back.
Yeah,
up and away. That's my
right.
And I'm not gonna take the time to
Yeah, it's just hard. It's very hard to believe. It's like we went there 7 times between 1969 and 1970 something, and then all of a sudden we just can't do it anymore. No one can do it.
Yeah, and
like we were doing it. We were doing it like willy nilly. Like, all right, time to go back, guys. Let's go. Another trip to the moon.
And then there's videos of like astronauts or whoever that don't even know what the Van Allen belt is. And
there's that video of Buzz Aldrin telling that little girl we never went. Did you ever see that video?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, I think he was doing a speech in front of a college class too, and he mentioned something about like we had to fake it or something. It's a lot.
Did
it's
he
a lot.
die?
No, I think he's still alive.
Someone died.
Neil Armstrong never would do an interview. He became a recluse, alcoholic. Like when we showed the press conference right after they got back on here before, remember the demeanor? It was very strange and eerie. Like they didn't seem like 4 guys that like just accomplished the biggest feat of all time.
You ever see the videos of them saying that they encountered like alien that was like really hostile?
I have seen those theories. Yeah, that there's like an alien base on the dark side of the moon. Yeah. So weird. Yeah. And then it's just like even the certain inconsistencies in their stories. Some of them will say that they saw so many stars that just lit up and then other one said it was so black you couldn't see any stars. Like it was like. Then we showed the footage of how they faked being far away from the Earth. Like they got caught with that with the behind the scenes footage that got released. That was what started Bart Sebrel's whole documentary. Was that he obtained that footage that showed them faking one of the news broadcasts that they did, showing like this is how far we're 2 miles away from what I mean, 200 miles away from Earth, halfway to the moon.
And that's where it makes people not believe it wholeheartely,
right?
And the whole race thing against Russia. It's to me, it's just I don't know. Maybe I'm just a skeptic. I don't want to believe everything, even the moon rock thing. You know what I mean? You heard about the moon rock?
Oh yeah, they gave the moon rock they gave to the Netherlands, I believe, and then they tested it. It was just petrified wood. Yeah, but people like try to explain away all those things. Like, well, that's because they didn't want to give them an actual moon rock, so they just gave them,
Uncle Denny said we grew up on black and white TV.
Yeah, I know, and they showed think about the indoctrination of that as a kid. Like you grow up and everyone's watching this moment on TV. It's like the biggest, it's the biggest MK Ultra experiment of all time, where you could sit everyone in front of a TV and show them an event that it's kind of like we talked about it before too. Remember when they did that radio broadcast of H.G. Wells? What's
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
and people thought that they were really being invaded by aliens, and people were losing their minds. And they eventually had to come out and tell everybody like that was just a story.
Yeah,
but they did it as if it was a real radio broadcast to the world.
Yeah.
So I think they do things like that just to test out like how they can manipulate out if this can work. And with the moon landing, there was a sense of Russia had beat us into low Earth orbit. They were the first ones to send a human out there. We were looking soft on the world stage. Kennedy was promising we were going to go to the moon. He gets assassinated. People are very upset about that, and then very skeptical of the government. Morale was at an all-time low. then they do this. They pull this off. It brings everyone back. Plant that flag on the moon. You know.
See, you making me believe what I believe.
I'm just
You
saying.
know what I'm saying?
It's just a little too convenient, right?
It is.
And they even what was the guy's name? The original guy that was supposed to be there that ended up dying. And he was doing press conferences saying that you know, he hung a lemon from the space shuttle saying that this will never get to the moon, like all the tests are failing, this is not going to work, blah blah blah. He ends up dead. And to this day his wife said that, you know, she believes that they killed him.
Government. We just talking about the government that
Right? Some dark stuff. Anyway, enough on the moon landing. Speaking of the government, let's get into...
Uncle Denny said, "You all are ruining my childhood memories." LOL.
Sorry.
Papa Jeff, you know, still believes.
Yeah. I get it, though. I understand. You know?
But he's talking about like calculations because he's that smart. Where,
Yeah.
you know.
But I mean, people that doesn't mean that people didn't really do those jobs.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that people weren't really in Houston, weren't really at the control watching, because they're not watching it on film, watching this rocket. They're looking at data.
Yeah.
The data's coming
duped
in
too.
Yes. Everyone can be fooled by this.
Yeah.
You're just looking at data on a screen. And then we're relaying that information, and then we're all just communicating from a farce.
Pop is in.
Here
He's
we
in.
go.
He
Here
says,
we go.
He says, "I have the evidence."
Show it to us, Pop. Show it to us. Show us the evidence. I hope
Hold up, though. I want to plan something. I was just saying that, you know, you were coming here to catch a flight from Philadelphia to Fort Lauderdale. Maybe we could do like on an off day. You come here.
Yeah, we do.
And
we do a podcast.
We sit down. You bring all your information, your evidence, your moon rock if you want to.
Bring your petrified wood that you got from NASA.
And you can talk to Jamie. He's more of a, you know, a scholar at this.
I'm not a scholar at all. I just remember information. I just remember.
I'm just a skeptic.
I just remember a lot of the stuff that I saw that, like, I was like, yeah, this makes no sense. Like,
Pop said he's in.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, so moving on, I want to talk about I got to get into a little bit of the Epstein saga continues. We were kind of going back and forth about this in our text group today, which I thought we were going to be able to hash out on the pod, but it's just me and you here. But I want to show this clip of Trump speaking in front of the press and just listen to what he says.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
So they're talking about Pam Bondi and why she's not releasing the files. So now he's saying that
it was made
up by Comey, Obama, and Biden. Which, what do you make of that?
I don't know how I feel about that. Because they can just say that. I mean, I get like the video that you had sent with Tim Pool.
Yeah.
That take where it's like, you know, it's so horrific that they can't, you know, because it's, you know, children.
They can't release. But see, that's the thing. Like, they voted today. Like, now the Democrats are using this as a weapon.
Yeah.
They want to release all the evidence. Like, and I think the GOP voting against it was dumb. I think they should have called their bluff. Like, all right, let's vote to release all of it. Y'all do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And put out there all those children that were abused. You know? They would never do that.
Bro, and that's my thing, man. Like, that's why I, like, it's children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who's gonna answer it? I know it's in God's hand, and like and I feel like God had shed light on this.
Mm-hmm.
He brought this, you know.
This you remember when all of this came back up? Like all of this started to reemerge.
Yeah.
It was when he ran the first time.
Yeah.
When a random person who ended up dead leaked Hillary Clinton's emails. And that's when Pizzagate became a thing, which they tried to. How many times did we hear about that being a conspiracy theory?
Yep.
Where we found out about the pizza place in D.C., where we found out about James Alefonse's Instagram account, where we found out that that's where we started finding out these code words and like that there was this dark, like sinister underbelly to the elites.
Yeah.
You know, it was all kind of revealed through those emails that were leaked. And that was right before Trump got elected the first time. So you're right in a sense where it's like that's what brought the Epstein thing back into the people questioning it. Like, because people had forgot about it. He did his time in the past, but no one had done like deep dives into all the connections again.
Yeah, who's connected now? They're finding out the dude from Abercrombie is connected.
Yes,
to, you know, the mansion that Epstein.
He gave it to him.
That's what
he gifted that to him. A $60 million house.
Yeah,
it's right across from Central Park.
Connected.
Yeah,
all this.
He put Epstein in charge of his. Gave him power of attorney over all of his businesses, the dude had no background in that. Like, that's why did you see the video of Alan Dershowitz talking about like, you know, he knows that they're covering up for people, but he thinks they can't release it because, and he can't say who it is because he's sworn to secrecy because he, you know, was implicated in it before and he sued to get himself exonerated from that.
I didn't see
you
that.
You see that? Yeah,
that
he made a whole video, but to me it felt like he's trying to show that he's not involved, but there's no way you're that close with Jeffrey Epstein. You gift him all these things. You end up being like pretty much his financier and the one that kind of ushers him into this lifestyle. And you're not involved in any way. Like that's the part that bothers me about the whole thing is like they're trying to just make everyone think like, oh, this guy was just perverted. Ghislaine Maxwell was the one finding him young girls. He was doing horrible things with them. Like, yeah, maybe some other people partied with them on an island, but that was it. We need to just forget about it now. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But it's not just that.
Yeah.
It's not just that. It's way bigger than that.
Yep. And they're like, you know, kind of trying to shift the way that we feel about it. You know, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah. You're still asking about that?
Yeah. And I'm getting that sense that I'm, you know, like somebody is like lying to me.
They're gaslighting you.
You know what I mean? Like,
and like the video that Jake sent us earlier where the guy was talking about how, you know, all of the people that are quick to turn on Trump are not factoring in that it could possibly be that, which maybe this is what he's alluding to here. The fact that they had so long to doctor evidence and like, you know, destroy things, get rid of stuff, create stuff like they did with the what he was talking about, the Russia hoax and the Steele dossier, all those things, all that stuff was fabricated. So if they could fabricate evidence when it comes to the Epstein thing, maybe some of the stuff that they came across as they seem like their files associated with the Epstein case, they're realizing like, oh, this was all like made up and planted to make Trump look bad or just tie him up into a situation where he can't get his agenda passed over these next couple years or even over maybe the entire rest of his presidency because he's tied up in scandal after scandal after scandal over this, and now they're trying to impeach him and now they're trying to, you know, so, and that's a possibility. But my thing is, and I understand that take, but my thing is the way that they've boggled this the whole way from like Pam Bondi doing that soft launch of phase one, them talking about how they're gonna release all the files on day one. Trump did interviews talking about that, talking about you know, how she had 10,000 hours of footage that they're going through, talking about how there was a truckload of stuff that the the New York office
yeah.
didn't submit to her, and then
Yep.
she was still trying to get that. Like
That's-
they kept.
That's what I meant. Like you're dangling that carrot. Oh, we have this, we
Yeah.
have this, we have this, and now all of a sudden,
Forget about it.
don't ask about it.
Yeah.
Why are you? Why?
The
All
case
this,
is closed.
All this is happening.
Nothing to see
Why are
here.
you asking us
Right.
about this?
Right.
Who is Epstein?
Yeah.
That's what I. That's That's what I don't like.
And
you know?
if it was the case where they came across stuff to realize, like, oh, this is a setup, just say that.
That's
You know
what-
how many people in
Each-
Trump's base would be like, or even if he just came across and was like, listen, guys, there's some stuff going on that we're dealing with as in regards to this case that y'all don't know about. Just keep it at that. No one would have nothing to say.
yeah, be transparent.
There would be those fringe people that are going to say, "Oh, Trump's trying to cover up his own crime." You know, there would be those people, but for the most part, like you're making it more messy and
Yeah.
chaotic with the
Yep.
way it's all being handled. You know, and now he's coming out saying that everything was a hoax.
It's a hoax.
Made up by you.
He's just giving them fuel.
Yeah, and maybe he is trying to say that maybe he's trying to say, because he's not the best with words. Maybe he's trying to say that Comey and Obama and Biden are fabricated a bunch of stuff in regards to these files. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. But just say that.
Yeah, which you're in politics. That's what they do.
Yeah.
There's always some scandalous and shady things. I don't put it past any of them to do anything like that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have felt better if he didn't gaslight us.
Yeah, that one when he jumped in for Pam
Yeah.
and he was like,
Let her talk.
you're still asking about Epstein,
Yeah.
all this other stuff going on, like,
I don't understand that.
yeah. But yeah, and I agree with Jake in the sense that, like, yeah, we can't just jump to the conclusion that, oh, Trump is bought out, Trump is sold out, Trump is evil now, and we forget about Trump. We need to, you know what I mean? We can't just
And
jump.
that's
jump
not
to
what
that.
I'm saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying there is something going on that we don't see at a spiritual battle
Right.
between, God and, there is a tug and
Yeah.
war. Like, God reveals something going on and the enemy's not going to let that go.
Yeah, he's
You know
going
what
to
I
try
mean?
to
He's gonna
cover it
try
up
to
in so many ways and
Yeah.
use people to cause confusion and
Yeah.
create doubt and mistrust around it. Like, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pull this. Oh, you see it. You got it pulled up, Mom. Yeah, so this is the vote right here. Democrats voting on this resolution to
On this vote, the yeas are two.
block the evidence from coming out. The Democrats voted against blocking it, of course, and the Republicans voted to block it. So now they're using that. I saw like Ro Khanna going on doing interviews talking about, we need to release everything, blah blah blah. Because why? They know it's not going to happen. They just can use this as a
Yeah.
political football now.
Yep.
And that's the part that's so annoying about the way our political system works. Is all of this grandstanding and like no one really trying to get anything done. They're all
Yeah.
just trying to score political points. And I think that's the frustration with Trump as well, is because you see a guy who's really trying to get things done, really trying to get his agenda pushed. So when he said he was going to do this, we expected it to happen. And then they just like totally about face. Now, granted, we don't know everything that's going on. And when there could be a bunch of stuff happening behind the scenes that we don't understand. But like, don't say you're going to be transparent about it and then not. Yeah. Just totally make people more confused. That's kind of where it's throwing people off, like the Charlie Kirks and Dave Smith is like totally done with Trump now. Like all these people like that.
He goes back and forth.
Yeah.
It seems like.
But you're going to get that.
And Kirk is going to be, I trust. That's what
Yeah.
he's saying. I trust the
I
people.
trust the people I voted for. Yeah. And a lot of people trust Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, but Dan Bongino more than Kash Patel.
Yeah.
So
You shouldn't trust them.
Yeah.
You should trust the Lord.
absolutely. 100% right. Yeah, so we'll see what happens in regards to that. case coming up. We may never know
Yeah.
what's actually going on in regards to all of that, which is sad because, like I said, if this entire country is being built off of the back of, frankly, using children as pawns in political weaponry and power grabs and stuff like that,
Dismantle it.
yeah, it needs to come down. It needs to.
Yeah.
It needs to come down.
Yeah. I agree.
So I want to talk about another story that I saw. There was a debate between Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens.
I didn't get a chance to see that, but that was very
I didn't
interesting
watch
to
the
me.
whole thing, but I saw a couple clips, and I was trying to pull them up. I hope these are some of the clips that I wanted to see. I think this is one of them because they were talking about, like, Candace was trying to lecture him about being married. And he kind of like put her in her place a little bit. I don't know if this is the clip, but let's see.
I think a quite selfish perspective, which is fine. That's what you're saying. You like being selfish.
I also don't appreciate the lecture. You don't know me. You were at Daily Wire with the contract. You're at Turning Point. You're making good money. You're doing book deals. You're part of this thing that I'm criticizing and paying a very heavy price for at a time when no one's saying those things. I took on basically a huge sacrifice at the beginning, and I don't know that you really appreciate that. I almost want to say I was 17. What's your excuse?
Oh, dang.
So he's talking about the fact because she was lecturing him on like his life choices and like not being married, not having family and stuff like that. And so he kind of was pointing out the fact that like you didn't start speaking out until you got things taken away from you. You were a part of this system. You were
because she was with Daily
Wire and all the people
he's always been really vocal about
critical about Israel. Yeah.
But he's still young though.
He is still young, but what he was saying, and that wasn't the full clip I was looking for, but what he was saying in the full clip was that because he's been so outspoken about his criticisms, like it's affected everything in his life. He can't go on Tinder. He can't go
right.
You know what I mean? They all know who he is, and they know like the reputation that he's been given by the media. And then he's banned from PayPal. He's banned from bank accounts. He's banned from having a credit card. You know what I mean? Like,
dang,
he's banned from Airbnb. He can't get a job anywhere. Like, so, he's saying like, we're not the same basically.
Yeah.
And she married a rich dude.
Yeah.
So she has that cushion.
Yeah.
She can be very bold about what she believes in and say certain things because she has a safety net.
Yeah. Right. How's he been surviving? Did he talk about that?
I think he's still on Rumble, and I think he still gets like donations or whatever that way. Maybe add money from Rumble. I'm not sure, but yeah. I mean, remember the lady showed up to his house and tried to kill him?
Yeah. I mean, they paint him as I've seen some stuff. He does say some like wild stuff. But
yeah, he's very polarizing.
Yeah. So it's like, you also chose that for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I think for him to point that out to Candace is because now Candace is starting to say some of the things that he's been saying for years.
Yeah.
And he's saying like, you don't get to lecture me on my life choices. Look at yours. You know what I mean? Which was, a lot of people are pointing out.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He paved the way for her.
Yeah. And it's funny because remember when she said the whole Christ is King thing, and that's kind of like where it all went left with Daily Wire. They were lining her up with Nick Fuentes at that time, and she was saying like, I don't know, this guy, I don't have nothing to do with him, And it's funny because now more and more they're starting to lump her in with him because of her stance on Israel and like, she's criticizing the Jews all the time, So
yeah.
It's interesting. Let's play this.
Spicy.
Play this. Yeah, it's getting crazy out there. Play this other clip.
Hey, let me on. I'll let him on. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I think that you can't have your cake and eat it too. Okay, because you also went and said I've never spoken to Nick Fuentes before in my life, but that was a lie.
Okay, but
Or you didn't know, but we had spoken before.
okay, yeah, let's clarify that. Yes, I was wrong that there was that one conversation you pointed out about when my husband was working for what was the app called? Parlor app.
Parlor. Oh, I'm sorry. So there were two, actually.
Yeah, but like, I mean, come on, Nick. The verse is like we had this long relationship.
Okay, but we can't play this game now. We
What
can't play this
game?
because you can't then get on my case and say, well, look, I'm just going through a lot and I have this crappy stuff going on.
No,
and then
I'm
it's
just
like,
saying
wait,
why I
but I
think
don't
you're
know
a
about the
crappy person
screenshot,
because
but I forgot about the conversation
Nick,
and
that
the
was
other
from
one.
years ago. I mean, okay, yes, okay, you're right. At first, I there was a conversation that you can read it live.
Convenient.
Well, we should throw it up. Let's throw it up and post so people can read. Hey, let me on.
They were going at it, boy. I kind of want to watch this interview
Yeah,
now.
me too.
And then I just want to show Nick went on a little bit of rant about his experience with Candace Owens. This is a little bit vulgar, but this is why he gets the rap that he gets. Listen to this guy.
And above all else, put some respect on my name. And I hit the nail on my head at the end. I kind of went off. And I said, look, I was 17. What's your excuse? You got married later than me. You got red-pilled later than me. You became a truth teller later than me. And you haven't gone through a fraction of what I've gone through. And she wants to call me out. That's what she texted me. She goes, I'm calling you out. And my response to that is, bitch, you have no right to call me out. And maybe it's time for you as a woman to sit down and shut the fuck up.
Damn.
That's me, a man. You want to say, make me a sandwich? Okay, this is me, a man, telling you, a woman, to sit down and shut the fuck up before you call out anybody else. Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm so sick of it. She's got her book, Make Me a Sandwich. That's the book cover. Her book cover is her sitting cross-legged. I'm gonna sit. Her book is her sitting cross-legged. Make him a sandwich. Okay. You want that, huh? All right. Well, hey, listen, Daddy's home. Hey, a real man is home. I'm pulling up my sleeves. You want to call me out? Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch. That's what a man has to say. And make me a sandwich and make it good. Turkey and provolone. Can you handle that? But I did eat last night. Turkey and provolone. That's how I feel. And honestly, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Make him a sandwich. And then she texted me on Friday. I'm calling you out. I've had enough of you calling me out. You cannot call me out. 1, you are a woman. 2, you have not gone through a fraction of what I have gone through. You know nothing. I have been on this since 2017, since I was 18 years old. You want to call me out? And that's the epitome of it all. Before you call out anybody, how about a shred of humility? How about an ounce of self-awareness? Why don't you observe the fact that while you had a contract at Daily Wire, Turning Point USA, InfoWars, book deals, and by the way, because you're a black woman, because you're a semi-articulate black woman, you're like Obama. She don't talk with that Negro dialect. She was a black woman who did the conservative grift, and she rode that tokenism doing fucking Blexit for 10 years, making millions of dollars, and then married into a wealthy family, and then discovered there's something going on with Israel after only everybody started to notice. Now you want to call me out, the OG? Well, that was your first mistake.
He went off,
Dang,
bro.
he went off. He mad.
Yeah.
All right, that's a little much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like stupid internet drama, like over who's more right. I don't understand what the point of this is.
Yeah, and are y'all right?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah,
I want to watch it though.
yeah. There was a part where he said that, like, you wrote a book called Make Him a Sandwich, but then you want to tell men what to do. He was like, you can't act
have
like
it
you're
both
not a
ways.
feminist. Yeah. He said that to her. Yeah. Anyway, Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes drama. What else did I have for us today? It's going to be a quick, light one today, but I had some stuff. Let me see.
Jessica is still on here. She's not sleeping.
He has a Spanish last name.
Yeah, he does. Fuentes.
I've met a lot of white people with Martinez and
Yeah. Didn't we have a white guy in Williamstown, Lopez?
Nick Lopez.
Yeah. He was very white.
But isn't Lopez a Jewish?
Lopez is all the Ez's are linked back to Jews.
Watch it, buddy.
Yeah, Lopez.
Watch it, buddy.
What do you mean the S's?
All of the names.
Ez's.
Oh,
Ez's.
Yeah, like Martinez, Lopez,
Gutierrez.
Yeah, all the Ez's.
I can't think of it anymore.
Ramirez.
Yeah. Flores.
Yeah. Montanez.
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Butt fumples.
Let me see. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
We talked about Superman, but nobody heard it.
Nobody heard it, man. We talked about Superman, but there was no audio.
It's a good movie. Go watch it.
Let me see if there's anything trending right now that we can just talk about real quick. If not, man.
Just said I just came on to see if I can hear.
Oh,
I didn't see your text trying to warn me. we were talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
we were talking about Puerto Rico.
Puerto
Talking
Rico,
about
Superman.
Superman.
Jessica cried on Superman.
We were talking about the Atlantic City Boardwalk. None of that was out.
Jersey Shore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see nothing. I don't really see nothing to talk about, man. Let me see. What's in the news?
I literally haven't seen. Besides the flooding, me and Mom was just talking about all the weird flash floods.
Yeah,
that's
isn't that
going on.
crazy
What's
how
up with
the-
that?
Did you see the blue water?
No.
You didn't see the blue water?
Where? What do you mean? I saw blue water in Puerto Rico.
No. Let me see. Okay. I just so happen to have a bunch of stuff on the floods. So take a look at this real quick. Oh, where is it? Blue water.
Coming out of the sky.
Here we go.
Blue rain in Texas. People are reporting blue water coming out of the sky.
What?
Weather seems to be getting very, very strange lately.
Hey, we're camping in this beautiful state park in Texas,
This is right before the
and it's
floods.
been raining, and the water that's coming out of the sky is blue.
Some have even reported getting sick by trying this strange blue rain. But check this out. In Matthew 24 and Revelation, we are warned. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. And I don't know about you, but this is getting very creepy. Blue rain isn't normal. It's either man tampering with God's creation through cloud seeding, weather modification, or it's a warning from above. Is this fulfilling end-time prophecy? The world explains it away with science, cloud seeding, and weather modification. But those with spiritual eyes know when nature turns strange, it's time to get ready. Could this be one of the last signs before the tribulation?
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? The blue, like.
I think, why would you drink it?
Man, people.
I would smack
Yo.
the crap out of my son. Like, what are you doing?
People do strange stuff, man. Let me see if I can find anything else on blue rain. Because I know there was like a bunch of different videos.
Jake said he saw that.
Oh, Jake's on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this.
How much
Look at
would it
this.
take for you to drink that water? How much money? Got a motherfucking blue lake right here.
How much money?
We're camping
No money. I don't
in
want
this
no
beautiful
money.
state park
We just saw this
in
one.
Texas.
Yeah. Let me see. I know there was other ones.
Papa Jeff said I ran into the Norfolk yesterday, looking for houses, and it was totally flooded out, and he had to turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been flash flooding.
Flooding's been going crazy.
Tim Pool actually had like a dude. I don't know if you saw it. That was talking about he works for a company that does like cloud seeding,
Mm-hmm.
and they have like government sanctions, but it's not. He claims that they had nothing to do with, the flooding in Texas had nothing to do with what you call it. But they said that they were doing some cloud seeding like 2 days prior to
like
that.
when the rain was blue.
That's what I mean. Like, there's some weird things going on. I'm seeing videos of like North Jersey and New York City having flash floods.
Yeah.
The past few days.
Yeah, the crazy thing about those floods is they were showing like how much water it was, and they were saying like something about the Niagara Falls running nonstop for.
Oh yeah.
Like how fast it rose. It rose like 26 feet or something like that.
Did I hear that from you, or somebody told me that?
Yeah,
actually, it's crazy.
I mean,
and
it's
Rosie
sad.
O'Donnell blaming Donald Trump.
Yeah, like these are, the little girls that were lost.
Sad as heck.
Yeah.
Did you see the nurse? I don't know if y'all talked about that because I left earlier.
We didn't get to it. You're talking about the girl who was this girl
She
here.
was a pediatrician, yeah, and there was a lot of people on X and Twitter.
I know I'm probably
talking
going
about
to
this
be canceled
girl
for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites only girls Christian camp.
Oh yeah, she was fired.
They don't
from her
even have a
job.
token Asian. They don't have a token
Not the black girl.
person.
Okay.
It is a
There was a lot
all
of that though.
White.
Like how are
only.
you? These little girls.
Yeah. This
babies
girl was getting like harassed online, was getting like, backlash online for her making this comment, basically saying they deserved it because it was a whites only camp. And then she doubled down and said them little CUNTSs deserve to be washed away or something like that.
Yeah, there was a lot.
You know that this girl is married to a white pastor?
What?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wow.
White pastor on top of
Wow.
it.
Yes. Let me see if I can find it.
Dude, but there was a lot of it. There was a pediatrician, I think she lived in Texas, that said that, that's what they get for voting red.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that too.
And
I
she
saw that one.
had lost her job. How do you do that? Just have no compassion.
No love at all. For you to say that they were washed away and she's glad because they were.
White people are not used to people telling them and calling them out on their racism and telling them about their ordinary hate or whatever.
Yes, I'm trying to find where, because people showed her with her husband. Sadie Perkins is her name.
I'm shocked that she was talking about their race and then she's married to a white guy. Like, that's crazy.
To all of you people.
Oh yeah, this
who
is
are
another. Pull this one up, Mom.
My criminal record as if I didn't know I've been to jail before. Let me tell you something. Those charges are real. Okay? All those assault charges, real. Which means I will not hesitate to kick the dog shit out of any one of y'all. All right? All right. Thank you.
That was after when she was getting all the backlash. She went online and said that. Let me see. Sadie Perkins, even more ridiculous. Her husband is a pastor. He's white. And I can bet he's one of those self-hating Democrats still blaming himself for slavery. This is her and her family here.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make no sense.
Ain't that crazy?
Doesn't make sense.
He looked like he's a pastor at
And then he's married to a woman that's telling people she's gonna kill them if they say, and he's a pastor.
What's he got to say about it?
Oh my God!
I don't think
is there any
has
info
he.
on-
That's so crazy.
Oh, he did respond, and he like totally distanced himself. Let me see. Here we go. His response right here. Wait. Well, no, that's the church itself. So the church came out. It's First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston, would like to extend heartfelt condolences to the families and friends who have experienced loss as a result of the Kerr County floods. We have been made aware of recent statements made surrounding the victims from Camp Mystic. It's important to note that the statements were not issued by a congregant, staff member, nor a representative of First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston. Any communications to that have not been posted directly by our church, do not represent, nor should be associated with First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston. Thank you, Tawana Grice, director. But her husband did make a statement. I'm trying to find it because he said, like, he basically said, like, I have nothing to do with what she said.
I don't run my household. She wears the pants in this house.
She has assault
It
charges.
says here,
If I say something, she will
says-
beat me.
it says here, Unitarian Church is a place of worship that belongs to the Unitarian Universalist tradition, which is a liberal religion with roots in Christianity, but now embraces diverse theological perspectives and practices.
That's from their website.
Her husband locked his blog and left this statement. My partner, Sadie Perkins, has made comments on social media regarding the horrific flooding that devastated Camp Mystic. I want to be clear that I disavow her comments. First of all, did he say my partner? I think the assumptions about him are getting accurate. While she was not speaking on my behalf or on behalf of my congregation, I recognize that her comments have caused harm to many who are experiencing terrible loss and anxiety. I believe strongly that all people have inherent worthiness and dignity. Her comments were not in the spirit of the Unitarian Universalist values centered around love that my congregation and I share. I am deeply sorry for the harm that this may have caused to the Camp Mystic families and the members of the community of Central Texas along the Guadalupe River who are grieving or anxiously awaiting word about their loved ones. I apologize for my congregation who has experienced harm because of her comments. I will continue to pray for all who have been impacted by the flooding and for the many lives lost during the tragedy. I will continue to work to repair the harm this incident has caused. Reverend Dr. Colin Boson.
Sounds like PR.
Senior minister. So he is the senior pastor at this church.
Yeah.
And he's called her his partner.
He called her his partner. She felt the need to go online and make these statements.
Wow,
Yeah.
Like,
that's crazy.
bro, that's
Multiple statements.
Yes.
And then talking about whooping somebody. Oh, those charges are real.
yes. Those charges. Let me see if I can find the exact quote about, because I don't want to misquote her about the what she called those little girls.
Jake said they don't. He said it's sad they don't believe in the Trinity.
So that's why they're Unitarians.
Unitarians.
People tried to open up GoFundMe's for her, trying to raise $20,000 for this girl, but they kept getting taken down.
Who's donating to that?
I don't think anyone. I think it raised like $100. I'm trying to find where she posted this because it was crazy.
Yeah, the Unitarians, they believe they accept all religions. Like, you know.
Oh,
It's
like
it's like a.
Oh, here we go.
Methodist.
It's like
So someone commented, "Girl, you brought this upon yourself. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences." And then she comments, "Consequences for what? Maybe it was God's will to wash them little away."
oh my
Dang.
God, that is so. What kind of love is that? That's
That
no
is-
love whatsoever.
But that's why the church is distancing themselves. You know, dude probably had to step down already.
That's
Like,
horrible.
you're talking about innocent little children.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with whatever victim culture ideology that you want to, espouse while you're married to a white man, which is hilarious because when you look at the Ilhan Omars, the AOCs,
all of them.
the Ketanji Brown Jacksons, the Kamala Harrises, all married to white men.
Yep.
It's just weird.
But white men are the most dangerous, evil people on the planet.
Look at mom's face.
I'm
Look at
just
mom.
in shock.
You need to pan to yourself and do that face again.
Oh man.
Yeah, this story is crazy.
How could you be seriously? How could you even say you're a Christian and you're gonna call these little girls that are innocent the name?
Well,
that name.
she already demonized them because they went. She said that she believed, which I don't even know if it's true. If it was all white.
It was. That's not
girl
true.
camp.
That's not true at all.
It probably wasn't any
First of all,
minority.
let's
kids.
be real. You talking about in the Houston area? How many black little children send their kids to camp, especially like a Christian camp?
Exactly.
Not many.
Exactly.
Okay, that's not the culture. They don't want to be hanging out at lakes and like going on hikes and doing camp stuff. Like they don't want to do
We
that.
talked about this on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes.
Do black people go hiking and
And
camping?
they do not.
No.
They will say openly that that's white people stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so to say that because you didn't see any black children in the pictures does not mean that it's a whites only place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just sad. There's no. There was like 15. How many little kids?
A lot.
Like 20. I mean, one is a lot. But
They
for
said
you to not
27 kids died.
for you to not be compassionate to these
27
babies,
kids. Wow.
they're babies.
They're
Man.
babies.
It's sad, man.
Let's show Rosie O'Donnell trying to blame Trump for this.
Rosie.
She's first of all, she's not even in the country anymore. And she's
a
still
level 5 TD.
Yeah.
TDS.
She's Super Saiyan TDS.
Yes.
Super Saiyan level. Like it's you know how like because to become Super Saiyan it has to change you physically.
Yeah.
You've seen
You
how
see-
she's changed physically. Like those are the Super Saiyan level Trump
That's
TDS.
a good point. That's a very good point. Because what happened, Rosie?
All right, let's listen to this rant.
And what a horror story in Texas. The flash floods in Texas, the Guadalupe River. 51 missing, 51 dead, more missing. Children at a camp. And you know, when the president guts all of the early warning systems and the weathering forecast abilities of the government, these are the results that we're going to start to see on a daily basis because he's put this
Daily
country
basis.
in so much danger by his horrible, horrible decisions and this ridiculously immoral bill that he just signed into law. As Republicans cheered, people will die as a result, and they've started already. Shame on him. Shame on.
People were pointing out that like none of this stuff goes into effect until October. So even what she's saying makes no sense. And when the flood happened, he hadn't even signed the bill yet. And then on top of that, let's check out this report from Good Morning America, who actually gave some real facts about the flood.
Hold up. Jake said most black people don't swim either. LOL, that's just what it is.
It's true.
The same area is still under a flood watch today.
Yes, and I want to remind everyone, this is an area of our country, in Hill Country up to Texas, that is known as Flash Flood Alley. They also, going into this, had severe to exceptional drought. Now, obviously, we've had a ton of water, so that's going to play a part in the flood watch that is still up until 7 p.m. It includes the same areas that were hit, but also San Antonio and Austin. Overall, this is for 2 to 4 inches, locally up to 10 inches, guys. So this is a big deal the next 24 to 36 hours.
A very big deal. And Ginger, how did this even happen? So much rain falling in such a short time.
Right. Well, part of the problem is what we call an MCV, mesoscale convective vortex. It's a really slow-moving system, and it's stuck. There's not a lot of steering winds to get it out of there. And then there are 3 sources of moisture from the Pacific, from the Gulf, and actually from remnants of Barry. That was a storm that hit Mexico more than a week ago. So put all that together, it's like having a kiddie pool and turning 3 faucets on all at once.
And Matt Gubbin.
Could that also come from cloud seeding? You know?
That
a
just happened a couple days.
trifecta that they just did a couple days before that, in the middle of all this nonsense that's happening already, in a place that always floods.
In this report, he was telling us there are questions on the ground right now about these warnings and when they went out. What do we know?
Yeah, we know from the AP, they said the National Weather Service offices there were more than staffed. They were staffed extra, actually, which is normal. The National Weather Service confirming to us that that's called surge staffing ahead of a big event like this. The warnings went out starting with the flood watch at 1:18 p.m. the day before. So that's the day before into the evening of. The WPC puts out this saying 3-inch per hour rainfall rates. They're saying this is going to be
So
bad.
Rosie was saying that they didn't get any warnings
get no
because of
warnings.
what Trump did, because he
Yes,
signed a bill that he signed after this happened. It didn't even go into effect yet. It's his fault. This is going to happen on a daily basis. But apparently they did have a warning system.
Yeah.
And the warnings went out well in advance.
About this saying 3-inch per hour rainfall rates. They're saying this is going to be bad. Again, 6 p.m. the night before. By midnight, that heavy rain begins. And then at 1:14 a.m., the first flash flood warning goes out. That's the type that goes out on the NOAA weather radio. That's the type that would fly onto your phone. And it had a considerable tag, meaning this is bigger than your run-of-the-mill flood warning. Then the river starts rising, and by 3:35 a.m., that wording is upped. It says, move to higher ground now, act quickly to protect your life. I have to say just a button here that having a NOAA weather radio would be very important for everybody, because I think a lot of people are scared, thinking, what's going to happen if I go out camping? Giving yourself just a couple extra minutes. Nothing was perfect here, but guys, there's certainly something that can help in having that.
Exactly. So, like, how the fact of the matter is, they had systems in place. They did what they could do to try to warn people. But when things rise so fast, 26 feet in less than an hour,
Bro, that's crazy.
like, what can you do?
Crazy. That time lapse video, I know everybody saw it.
Yeah.
It's with the people on the highway or
Yeah.
the road. That's crazy.
I've never seen anything like that.
Seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And it happened, of course, like you said, what time was it? 4 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
That way people were asleep. They
Yeah.
didn't expect it.
Yep.
So they didn't have time for anything.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, when I get those things, it's just like, okay, how do I turn this off?
Yeah.
It's like I don't really pay attention to that stuff.
Right. And you know, we don't do a good job of making sure we're prepared for things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so sad what happened to these children. But then you see all these people coming out and turning it into, you know, a political weapon. You know, I remember I saw clips of people showing Abby Phillips on CNN, you know, the black chick that always moderates those weird debates. You know, when Biden was in office and Trump was criticizing them for the way they handled North Carolina, she was saying, oh, Trump should not be politicizing this. He's the only one making it political. And then they flash to this, and it's, you know, this is all Trump's fault. Trump did this, Trump did that. It's like now all of a sudden you're allowed to make it political. It's just, the hypocrisy is hilarious.
Hypocrites.
We'll play one more video, Mom, along this line. I think this was the one you were talking about, Moan.
I hear they're holding a ceremony so that he can sign this big, beautiful bill into law. Do you think it's going to be outside?
Oh, no, this is a different one.
No, they wouldn't. But, like, on the 4th of July, be a cool time to do it. If anyone's, like, on the fence, we would support you. 100%. That'd be real nice.
Oh, that was just, I had that one because it was just a video of a girl openly calling for someone to assassinate the president on the 4th of July. Like, you know, just, when have we ever seen people do that in the past?
Never.
When Biden won, did you see a bunch of people on the right just like openly saying like, now would be a good time to, you know?
They're insane and possessed.
It's demonic. Yeah. It's demonic, and it's extreme TDS levels to an unreal extent. Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I had all that for last week, and we never got to it, so I still had it. So that was good to talk about.
So Jimmy Swaggart dies.
Jimmy Swaggart dies.
John MacArthur died.
Mm-hmm.
That's two very big pastors.
What do you think that means?
I don't know, but I know that they're dying now. Like the older ones, they're old. Mm-hmm. So who knows? Maybe another one is going to pass that age. I mean, it must mean something, but I don't know. I'm not, a conspiracy theorist.
Are you sure about that? I don't know.
Mom stopped watching the QAnon videos.
Oh
Because we kept on getting on her. What site did you see that on?
Oh,
Well, see, that's what you get.
Oh my
That's what you
goodness.
get.
Oh, he's cracking on her.
and you know, I feel like a lot of the QAnon stuff was driven by a lot of boomers. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the people that were pushing a lot of those cue boards and like piecing things together and saying that this is going to be the time that this is going to happen, and you know, with this all the bank accounts are going to be shifted on this date, and like there was just so much stuff, but it was mostly boomers like pushing that stuff.
Jamie been getting on Boomer, Pop, Uncle Denny.
Listen,
Mom.
Not all boomers are the same.
I'm
Okay,
joking.
Any boomer that watches this stream, I'm not talking about y'all. Y'all already know. You guys are intelligent and with it a little bit more. Not saying that boomers aren't intelligent, but I just think that, you know, like when scammers go after people for like certain cell phone text message scams or internet scams, who are they going after?
Boomers.
Right, because they don't have, sometimes it's hard for them, like boomers get fooled by AI all the time. AI. Because it's like they didn't grow up with the internet. They didn't grow up with AOL and like, so that all came about as part of their life where they kind of dismissed it for a while.
Yeah.
So now they're getting on it now. They're on Facebook. They're on these different things and they're finding all this information, and it's hard to make sense because for them, when you got information, you just believed it. Like the news, you know, everything was,
it was trust.
It wouldn't be on here if it wasn't real, you know? So I think for a lot of them, it's harder for them to see something and be like, oh, this is manipulation, or this is fake, or this is a scam, or this is, you know, just clickbait.
Yeah.
You know, so they end up running with a lot of these fake stories. Who do you see sharing fake articles all the time? You know what I mean?
Boomers.
Right. So
I remember Dee Dee Sharp.
Yeah.
So, someone that we sang background for and your dad MD for.
Yeah.
She shared I forgot exactly what the story was, but it was an article from The Onion.
Yeah, and she thought it was real.
And everybody all there, I'm looking at the comments, I'm like,
and they all just went with it.
They all just went with it.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Dee Dee Sharp shared this.
Yeah.
So it's real. Like, guys,
we know
this is satire.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I know. But I said all that to say that
he hating on. No, I'm just
no. I don't. Where were we going?
We were talking
with
about
this?
boomers.
No, but where were we going? Why did we bring that up?
Because we were talking about the two old men, pastors that passed away, and then we started on that. I don't know why.
No.
Because we said they were old.
I don't think it had to do with that. I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, we were talking about QAnon and like who was pushing all of that.
Yeah.
Because what I was going to say is a little bit of that video Jake sent us. I don't know if you're still on there, Jake. Felt like a little bit of that kind of like caping for Trump in a way where it's like overly. He's playing 4D chess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of vibe, making a lot of assumptions and speculation the same way that the people that hate Trump or the Democrats or like the people that have turned on him are speculating and oh, Trump is just an idiot now, you know? Like I felt like I was getting the opposite end of that. Like it wasn't, Jay kind of saw it as a reasonable take, and to me it was like I feel like there was a little bit of cape in there. They like was assumption, you know.
Yeah, I was more along your side. I couldn't finish all of it, but I watched a good chunk of it. But that's kind of like what I was getting to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole thing, and like I said, he made some good point, and what he's saying could be the case, but I just find it hard to see it that way based off of how they've been handling everything. And I don't even remember. If we could find the name of the video, I don't remember, so people could watch it. But yeah. Anyway,
Uncle Denny gave a thumbs up. Don't know what that thumbs up is for.
He gave the thumbs up because he knows that I'm not talking about him and that he is one of the young lions. Boomer is old thinking. Young lion is, you don't think you got it figured out. You're still learning. We're all still learning. We all can, our minds can be changed. We're all still trying to grow and learn and take in wisdom. But yeah.
Even at my age.
Yep. At any age.
The young woman that you are.
And I don't even watch the news.
You shouldn't.
No, I know. I don't.
You shouldn't. I know people that watch the news all day long and they don't know nothing. They are just so, like, to the level where some people are just totally, like, you can sit down and have conversations with people that you can tell that they just watch, like, The View every day.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that they...
Who's watching The View?
I'm telling you, like...
I've never
Yo, those ladies, oh my goodness. They keep on getting worse and worse.
I know, because they have no one checking them.
You know that the only time I've watched them is when you guys posted it up.
Yeah.
I never watched them.
The one girl tries. The one fake Republican.
She fake tries. She tried. You know why? Because she's probably told by the producers, we can't all just be bashing the whole time. We need some pushback.
They need somebody.
Yeah.
Real with
because you see when Anna Navarro's on Abby Phillips' thing, she gets destroyed all the time.
Yep.
Because it's people with actual information coming back at her. All she can do is talk about race all the time.
Come on, you're Whoopi. You're comparing. You're comparing
Iran to Black Americans here. Yeah.
Come on, you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire and you're so oppressed. And you know, women in Iran, they can't even show a little bit of their hair without getting stoned or whatever.
Yeah. I know.
It's just to me it's like, is it their role that they're playing, or are they really that naive and really believe what they say?
I think they really believe it, dude. Like,
do you?
I know, like, James and the other people have said, like, he thinks that they're, like, just told to do that by the producers. I think they really believe. Like, I'm telling you, I've had conversations with people that are, like, just completely, like, those California liberals that think that Trump is about to round up American citizens.
Yeah.
Like, that ICE is coming after... Right.
Somebody in your
exactly. Right.
I'm not gonna say it.
Right. Trump is literally gonna round up American citizens. Anyone who's brown or black is gonna get deported, no matter if you've been here your whole life, if you're legalized, if you're a naturalized citizen, they're rounding up everybody.
Yeah.
And you should be prepared. Like this is what they're saying. And they believe it.
Yeah.
They really are afraid.
That actually reminds me of we're talking about people rounding. I had a conversation with Victor, and he told me the DOJ just announced that they will take away people that have been naturalized their citizenship. I kind of looked into that, and it's true, but it's not just anybody willy-nilly. They're just revoking their citizenship. I think I watched Tim Pool. He was talking about the case was the first. I think the only case so far is somebody who became a naturalized citizen, like me and Victor. They had something to do with like sex trafficking, or that.
Right.
Which, you come here.
I did hear about that case. Yeah. You're right. And
you're just not an automatic, you
think
we are different. Like,
right.
I wasn't born here.
Right.
You guys were born here.
Mm-hmm.
You have that birthright.
Yeah.
Citizenship.
Right.
I'm naturalized, which means I came from somebody else. From somewhere else, and I should conduct myself a certain way.
Yeah, absolutely.
While I'm here.
So you think you think once you go to DC, you get sworn in, you hear that song, "Proud to be an American." Okay, time to commit some crimes, guys. They can't kick us out now. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
You should be able to have some recourse for that. Like because if someone is being allowed to come here and establish themselves here,
right,
in the country that we
open
its arms to
yeah.
you. Like, you should want to be a model citizen. Like, you
Right.
should want to live your life in a way that honors that.
Exactly.
And your children will be naturalized. Well, your children will be birthright citizens. But you should not be thinking that you can just come here and then be sex trafficking or do some of that most heinous stuff, raping people, like whatever. Like,
I mean, in that case, I do, but and he was saying like, so who's gonna make that choice, make that decision when it comes down to what the standards are of what gets you deported or gets your citizenship revoked,
which is the slippery slope argument. And I understand where he's coming from because he's coming from communist Cuba, where he saw people's rights being taken away like that little by little, where they would say, oh, it's for this or it's for that. But America's different. America's different. Like, we have too many checks, and we have a Supreme Court. We have too many checks and balances in place. And I think that
what you laughing about?
I'm laughing because I'm listening to you guys. When I go to the gym, the TVs are right next to you when you're working out. And I'm listening to the news and I'm going, what freaking liars. I'm like, why? They lie. And people are looking, like listening, and they're believing everything they're saying. I'm like, oh my God.
They literally lie. They the video that you had sent where Tim Pool was talking about the Epstein, he kind of touched into the case where if you're listening to liberal media, they raided a farm.
Yes, that case is hilarious.
And
they called it a strawberry farm. They said they raided a strawberry farm and kidnapped children.
Yes,
that's the way they framed it.
Yeah, but it was a marijuana plantation, whatever you want to call it,
and they had underage minors that were undocumented working on the farm.
Tim Pool called it slavery, and I was joking like, they probably are doing it willingly, but it's cheap labor, and that's the conversation that I have all the time with some people that's in my circle. I'm like, I was in that. You should crack down on these farmers,
the ones that are using
corporations, these factories, these companies that are using this cheap labor and they're working their butts off. Bro, I worked my butt off. No, like barely any break. $3 a basket for blueberries. It's cheap labor that they're getting away with. Crack down on that. I feel bad, for those workers. They want to make a better life for themselves, but they're being abused.
But the problem is a lot of those minors were unaccompanied. Like, they didn't know where they belonged.
I was trying to find out like how old they were. I couldn't find.
And that's the only time I watch the news, when I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
Because I'm working out these machines next to the TV, and I'm looking at CNN, all that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're lying.
Yeah, they're framing in a certain way, like
Oh, they're cutting Medicaid. They're cutting on Social Security, and they don't explain.
Yeah,
that it's not.
They frame it. They'll say, "Oh, there's going to be this amount of money cut from Medicaid," but not going into the fact that who's that being cut from? People getting it illegally. Like that, there is no one that gets Medicaid that is going to lose Medicaid.
Yeah, it's supposed to be for pregnant women, right, and the elderly mostly. And if you look at it, they're taking it away from the American people.
Yeah. Didn't someone shoot at one of the agents at that raid?
It's been a few.
Yeah.
It's been a few.
Yeah, I think there was footage of someone that shot at one of the...
There was 2 in Texas. That they shot at, and it was like the same story.
let's watch a little clip about this real quick on CNN. This is the chick from Biggest Loser. She's been going at people. Have you been seeing her?
No.
Jillian.
Oh,
something?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
She was I watched her. She was talking about Hawaii.
Yeah.
She was talking about how she loved her, and then she turned Republican or whatever like
Yeah.
that. She was like, "So I gotta follow you," and then she's starting to kind of understand like
Yeah.
why she left.
And she interview Candace, and like Candace blew her mind on a bunch of stuff
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yep.
So now she's on with Abby Phillips and debating about this raid. Let's check this out.
Let's look at what just happened at the Glass House marijuana farm. Here's what people don't want to see. On the other side, they don't want to see people throwing rocks into the cars of federal agents. They don't want to hear that someone supposedly opened fire on them. They also don't want to learn that there are a bunch of kids there that are undocumented or unaccompanied, and they think this is crazy talk, and we should be focusing on that. And for one thing, how did those kids get there?
Well, I just want to add one thing. We do have to go, but the UFW, the United Farm Workers, put out a statement about this. They said the UFW can confirm farm workers were critically injured yesterday during chaotic raids in Ventura County, California. Others, including U.S. citizens, remain totally unaccounted for. Many workers, including U.S. citizens, were held by federal authorities at the farm for 8 hours or more. U.S. citizen workers report only being released after they were forced to delete photos and videos of the raid from their phones. They also added that farm work is exempted from child labor laws. So
you're telling me undocumented?
I'm not saying
She's trying to make an excuse for this.
No,
She's trying to make an excuse for this, bro, for having children working a marijuana farm, unaccompanied, and they're here illegally.
Documented. I'm not talking about
work at a marijuana farm.
I'm not talking about the undocumented part, but according to this statement, in this country, not just at farm, not at marijuana farms
give me
at all.
Semantics. Look at the reality of what
I'm
we're
just saying.
talking about. How did an unaccompanied, undocumented 14-year-old
Hey,
in
Jillian.
the middle of
Hey,
the
Jillian.
day?
I believe that, and many people might believe, children should be subject to child labor laws.
Absolutely.
But it's true in this country that when it comes to agricultural work, they're not, and that includes marijuana farms. So the legality of their status.
She's not listening to what she's saying, what she sounds like. It's like I just have to defend our stance, no matter everything Trump does is bad, no matter what. Even if it means that children are working. Unaccompanied children are working on marijuana farms.
14-year-old.
You sound insensitive and stupid saying that.
Is a separate issue, but the fact of children being there is not actually something that is necessarily illegal.
I have a really hard time
so there's
believing
that. So it's not unusual for there to be teenagers and working in a farm.
A 14-year-old can work at a marijuana growing.
It doesn't matter whether it's a marijuana farm or an apple farm.
A kid can't work at a bar.
It's agriculture. They're not smoking
If that's the
marijuana.
law, that's outrageous.
They're cultivating it.
Changed.
The point is this incident, and we're still learning a lot more about it. Was very dangerous and put a lot of people, including ICE officers and those immigrants, in danger. So
yeah, who started it?
Yeah,
they were attacking these officers.
Yeah,
opening.
They've been. That's because the way the media has portrayed these federal agents,
and that's why they were. When she talked about like they weren't allowed to leave until they deleted. Because these agents don't want their faces out there because they're being targeted.
They're being doxxed by government officials.
Right.
How are you a leader?
You're not. You're not. You're
just playing that political game, man.
You are
With no
an
compassion.
activist. You're not a government official. You're an activist on behalf of liberalism. You're not like you don't care.
Not even a real activist. You're just pretending.
Yeah.
Like all those videos that I see. What's the dude's name from New York? Protesting Tom Holman.
Who was it?
The Democratic.
Zohan.
Yeah.
Zohani or whatever.
When I see his videos, like him.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the First Amendment, bro?
Yeah.
That's all show.
Yep.
Just like these people that's going to these ICE facilities and getting locked up. That's
It's
all show.
grandstanding.
Our boy, Cigar Boy.
Yeah, Gus Baraka.
Yeah.
Ross Baraka. Yeah.
It's all show.
It's all trying to make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Just like the dude that went all the way to Ecuador or El Salvador to meet up with Obregon Garcia, to try to prove that he was being held prisoner. Look what happened to him. He's a laughing stock now.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
But they don't. It's they don't want to stand up for people with character.
Definitely not. They
because they're not going to get famous,
right?
But
it's funny to see these Democrats like going to bat for some of the worst people and not even realizing like your constituents have never seen you go this hard for them.
Yeah.
And you are willing to stake your whole career on criminals.
They go interview the streets and like, who?
Yeah, I've never even seen this person. I don't know what they talking. Who is that? Why is he going over there? Yeah.
Oh, he using our money?
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's wrap it up there, guys. Appreciate everybody who's been with us watching the podcast. Thank you for joining us this Tuesday evening as we hit a couple topics. Just a light one today. Me and Moan just we lost about 15, 20 minutes with no audio, but we'll edit that out. Don't worry. But no, we appreciate y'all for letting us know and sticking with us in any way. In the meantime, I wanted to show that video of the little boy who had that encounter with Jesus and his dad.
It makes you cry.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's seen that already.
I know everybody's seen it, but I wanted to show it just to talk about it a little bit. But we'll save that for next week when everybody's here. But make sure you guys, if you want to support what we do, share this video, hit the like button on the way out. Don't forget Patreon link is in the description if you want to become a part of the community, join the Young Lions, support us. If you want things to grow and if you want us to be able to keep doing this, we do need the support. So support the things that you think matter and stop supporting the things that shouldn't be supported. But we appreciate you guys.
Like QAnon websites.
Shout out to Uncle Denny. He said she's lying. The children would have to be family members to work on the farms. Is that what because you were 14, right?
I was 13.
13, yeah. Yeah, but that is true. Like, I know with farming, you can be...
Yeah, you can be...
underage.
But in the family, though, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to be in the family.
Not, undocumented.
No, exactly. Exactly. And I would think not a marijuana farm.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be... There's
no law.
Right.
It's that new. There's no law for that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Like, would you let them work a poppy field? Would you let them work like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
lady.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Anyway, yeah. But support us, guys, man. Please, if you want to throw a little donation, hit the Cash App. It's in the description as well. Don't forget, merch is available on our website, jatan.com/shop. Link is also in the description. And if you want to come see us live, we are doing a nice, intimate show at Steel City Coffee House and Brewery on July 26th, which is next Saturday. It's going to be a great show. Make sure you get your tickets now. Check our website and our social media links for that ticket link as well. And other than that, we appreciate y'all. See you guys next week. Peace.
Young Lion, go live, yeah. Young Lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah.